Greetings everyone, how's everybody doing? I hope you guys are feeling very good and very gracious. Today we're talking about animation. I heard this topic that we had to deal with. Basically is that is there a difference between a junior animator and a senior animator? In retrospective, there's no difference between a junior animator and a senior animator. The only thing that matters is the experience and the connections that they have. That's why basically in America there's less animation shows, because mass majority of the handling of animation has to be dealt with the senior, instead of it becoming very collaborative towards the junior and the senior. That's why most popular shows come from the eastern region of the world, which is Asia. For instance, Kuchiakara, when it came to the manga creator of it worked on Fire Force, and then all of a sudden she created her own animation, and then her senior actually assisted her towards animating Kuchiakaras, which made it an extremely good show. So with that said, I still have this particular ideology that I do not actually comprehend, that the industry always talks about oh yeah, I'm a senior animator and I've animated for these particular shows and stuff like that. Let's take for instance animation doesn't have a senior and a junior. It only depends on the experience. Let's take for instance let's say you worked in college, you animated in college. Let's say you were the best animator in college, and now all of a sudden you go to the industry, and then you see how other people animate, and then your animation is much more better than the people that are hired in that particular studio. Does that make you a senior, or does that still make you a junior? As I say, it's a very egotistical part where we actually discern who is who upon a hierarchy of the animation production of things. But to be honest, it doesn't make any sense, because an animator is always going to be an animator, regardless whether junior or senior. It doesn't matter whether you're junior or senior. As an animator, you're an animator for sure. So there's no hierarchy upon it. There's no you have higher skills than the other one. It depends on what kind of production that you're working on. And there's another thing that we also have to discuss about, and that is the different stages of animation. For instance, everybody talks about the animation industry, and then they talk about the 12 principles of animation. But those are the 12 principles of animations are fitted for more stylistic animation. It's not the hardcore when it comes to animation towards it. It's basically an American stylized replication. The person who created the 12 principles of animation had his own style of animating that he wanted to make to be generalized, so that other people can pick it up and then use it in their project, and then they can add into the 12 principles of animation. But what I will tell you is that when it comes to the 12 animation principles, the vital and most important one is the 12th one. The last particular principles of animation is the one that is important, because your animation could be terrible, horseshit, crazy, and questionable. But if you can get that thing, the the last principle of animation, and which that is like appeal, then you can do any project and your project will be phenomenal. Like if you can get like your projects to be actually appealing, regardless whether like your animation is horrible, terrible, or your lighting is something that is garbage, but like if you have a certain appeal towards it, then like you can actually make much more decent animation than the seasoned veteran of animation out in the world. Trust me on that. Trust me on that. Because I know people who actually are seasoned veterans of animation, and like and there was like these particular like projects they couldn't even like really get, but like the people who have like the most appeal in towards it actually got more project, much more clients, and much more efficiency when it comes to like the animation field. And I have to say, it is the most hilarious thing, and it's the most frustrating thing that like when you're an animator or when you're in a multimedia industry, basically, it doesn't matter how skillful you are, it doesn't matter how like experienced you are. What matters the most, I'm talking about like the most, is basically your viewership, the retention. People that actually follow your artistry would actually make you the money that like you actually want to make. I'm saying actually for far too long, and it's getting annoying, I know, but bear with me, like you have to have like a certain retention towards like audience that you build up, whether you're using like social medias like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, or whichever platform that you do. If you focus on those particular prognosis and social analytics of it, you are more likely to get more clients, and you're more likely to get like to work with other studios and big studios in that particular concept. But like the thing that sucks is that like it really doesn't matter whether like you're a seasoned veteran animator or a seasoned veteran like in the industry, or those things do not matter as long as you do not have a social presence, which is the most annoying and frustrating thing for mass majority of us artists, especially 3D artists, is because like we do not like to be in front of the public eye. But in order for us to get like more people to tune in and like invest in our own craft, we have to be in the physical realm, in people's faces, basically cameras and all that, so that like they can take an interest towards like our skill sets and our abilities to produce good quality content and work. I'm getting a headache just thinking about it. it's so weird, but like it's how like the industry is, and if we have to talk about the industry right now, it's not actually looking good, because right now they also sell, I think they're in prior prospects upon like selling Warner Brothers to either Netflix or Paramount, which they're both like great housing projects, but like it's very questionable when it comes to like Hollywood, because like it seems like Hollywood is facing like the most darkest time in their own era. I think like the last particular time they had like this darkest hour was maybe run about like in 1934 basically. Because like they have been in the industry for like filming for a long period, for like centuries, and did I say centuries? No, decades. I like over exaggerating things and making them sound like centuries, but like they're not centuries yet. But yeah, in all these particular decades that they actually in business with. So yeah, everything is a little bit like, yeah, I know, I mean, I don't know why I actually made that meme, but like, yeah, either way, yeah, fine. that is fine. That is fine. Alright, like, yeah. As we were like talking, so I know that like other people are still asking about like the projects that we're working on. We're still working on them. It's just like it's been a little bit hard like quite recently with all the shifts and the changes and other particular things, and then like yeah, we had to reconstruct our own way of doing business as well, because like we were handling somebody else's business instead of ours, which is like stupid. But yeah, we had to do that. So now we're going back to that's my baby, got his head high, his foot on the pedal. I've got my hand in the sky, but I've got hand on the metal. Cause other things I'm drifting like it's all the time, because like I wasted too much time upon like things that really do not matter the most. So we have to focus upon like things that matters the most, which also have to rewire my brain, and then like this thing about like I have to be back towards like how I used to be like very articulate when it comes to like persuasion and stuff like that, and all those particular structures. So that as well we have to actually conjugate back again. So there's a lot of things that we have to do, and there's a lot of things that we have to come back to. You know, being an adult is the most annoying, frustrating